So someone who said something that could be perceived as a death threat cries about receiving death threats. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about Claira Janover and what she did on TikTok. Now, I'm gonna try to be fair here because I don't want anyone to be canceled or have to lose their job because of what they said, even if it's a joke. Maybe it's a bad joke. Maybe it's a joke you don't like. Maybe it was a joke that wasn't perceived as a death threat. Maybe it was a real death threat. I have no idea, right? It wasn't directed at a specific person necessarily. But let's get into this. By the way, if you like these sort of videos, you can press the like button, share, subscribe. It definitely helps out the channel. This channel is completely demonetized, so if you really want help, you can see the link above how you can donate, and it helps out. Anyway, look, let me just restate. I don't want to see anybody be canceled, be deplatformed, or lose their job because of their opinions, because of their jokes. And that's what's happening here. Now, some people will say what she said was a death threat. Is it a death threat? I don't know. You be the judge. Let's listen to it. Ready?
The next person who has the sheer nerve, the sheer entitled caucasity to say all lives matter, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna stab you. And while you're struggling and bleeding out, I'm gonna show you my paper cut and say, my cut matters too.
Okay. All right. Now, is that a death threat? Is that a death threat or is that a joke? What is that? I mean, she didn't say a specific person. She wasn't calling for violence or anything, because usually the call for violence has to be directed at a specific person. It was pretty general, pretty broad. In the way she said it, it could have been a joke, just a bad joke, and also obviously a joke that shows her attitudes and complete dismissal of anyone who's all like, well, don't other lives matter too? And that's where the whole all lives matter comes from. I don't think those who say all lives matter are coming from a racist place. We can get into it, we can get into the conversation, but just to say that, oh, if you say that hashtag or use that, that person's racist, that's weird. That's ignorant. That's not really going into detail what that person is really about, right? In fact, if anything, you're making a judgment on them without even really knowing them. But anyway, so I'm trying to be fair here. Trying to be fair. Look at that. I'm trying to be fair. But she had a reaction to this. Apparently, she starts crying, saying that she lost her job, and she blames Trump supporters. She claims she received death threats, which is kind of ironic because what she said could be perceived as a death threat. I'm pretty sure if she did receive death threats, they're probably just as general and vague as the thing she said. To be an actual death threat, to be something that the police can use, it has to be directed at a specific person, have a specific action, and a place, a time and a place. If it's just like, I'm going to stab you because you have this opinion, then if it's just directed at anyone who has that opinion, but no one specifically, it could be like, well, what is that? Are you just being general here? Are you just trying to be edgy? But anyway, we'll play the rest of the video because her reaction, honestly, I think it's kind of over the top. Part of it seems kind of fake and played up. You got to think about this too. She's crying on TikTok, so she has to keep the tears and waterworks going for TikTok. That already seems kind of fake. And exaggerated. We'll get into it.
Trump supporters just took my job away from me.
So she says, Trump supporters just took my job away from me. Is that even true? We do not even know that. We don't even know if that's true. That's just what she said. But I haven't seen anyone, does that happen? Is that a thing? Where Trump supporters are calling people's jobs and trying to get them fired? Does that happen? Did she even have a job to begin with? I have no idea. I know she goes to college. I know she's trying to get a degree in psychology, I believe. I don't know. So, it's kind of weird. But she blames Trump supporters for losing her job over something she said. Now, once again, just to make sure I'm clear here, make sure everyone's clear on this, I don't support her losing her job, if that is indeed what happened, over her bad opinion or joke or whatever, okay? But to just blame other people for something you said, that's kind of weird. That's kind of silly. What she's doing here is, she does not take any responsibility. And like I said, it seems played up. Because think about this. She had to start TikTok, right? She had to start the recording then and start crying about it. Right?
I've gotten death threats, rape threats, violent threats.
Death threats, rape threats, violent threats. When I hear that anymore, I know it's listen and believe. Well, okay. People could say anything. People do say a lot of stuff, especially on the internet. People say a bunch of stuff that may not even be true. You can't really take anyone's word anymore. I would say, okay, maybe that happened, but show the receipts, because you could just be making it up. Honestly, just getting right to it.
It was okay, but now it doesn't like my future.
It took away her future. She's still going to college. She's still getting her degree. What's she talking about? I've heard many examples where someone on the left would go far and ruin someone's job just for supporting Trump. I've never heard it on going the other way. I've never, what they do, call up the employer and say, by the way, your employee gave a death threat, so that she goes stabby to anyone who says, all lives matter. It's kind of weird. I'm having a hard time believing that.
My future's entirely compromised.
Her future's entirely compromised. Look how she exaggerates. Her future is entirely compromised because she lost her job. But what's she talking about? What job did she have? She doesn't even say. She never says. Was it a career or was it a job? Because I know if she's going for a degree in psychology or whatever, I'm sure the job she's working now isn't the job she really wants. It's not going to. I'm sure she's getting grants and has student loans, has other income. So as far as future compromise, that is hyperbole. That's her exaggerating this whole thing. And like I said, this thing seems played up and fake. Am I wrong there? I don't think so. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's play more of this.
Because Trump supporters have decided to come for my life. God.
Trump supporters come for her life. It's like she's playing victim. I've seen this many, many, many times. Many times. It's like she's playing victim and crying it up. Like I said, she had to fire up TikTok and start this charade. One could say, well, maybe she was crying in a vulnerable spot before she fired up TikTok, and she just sorted her thoughts, and then she just, started the recording. I don't know. That is a possibility, sure. But then she would still have to be playing it up and exaggerating.
This sucks. You guys suck. I'm too strong for you.
And here she says she's too strong for us. She's too strong for us. Even though she's crying, sobbing, and weak, but she's strong.
I'm too strong for any of you. Oh.
Yeah, you're showing it. Yeah, I mean, come on, too strong for any of you. Really? I don't know, man. I don't think I'm not seeing strength right here.
Lives matter. Raises Trump supporters. It sucks, but it doesn't suck as much as systemic racism. And
Well, is she saying her situation sucks? All right. And systemic racism. Okay. I mean, she's Asian. So, I mean, is she concerned about how she has to have a higher score? Or that her score on the SATs have to be higher than black people because she's Asian? Is she concerned about that? Is she? That's kind of weird.
I'm not going to stop using my platform to advocate for it. And I'm sorry, Deloitte, that you can't see that. that you are cowardice enough to fight somebody who's going to make an indelible change in the world and is
Well, fight her because she's gonna make a change. Okay, good luck on that. Good luck, lady.
going to have an impact. I know this is what Trump supporters wanted.
And she's still crying about it. Change the angle, new TikTok recording. She's still crying. That's why I think this thing is played up and exaggerated. This is a theatrics, clearly theatrics at this point.
Because standing up for Black Lives Matter put me in a place online to be seen by millions of people.
Oh my God, standing up for Black Lives Matter is literally the easiest thing you could do. Standing up for Black Lives Matter is the easiest thing you could do, and there's going to be no blowback. What are you talking about? It's on the opposite end where you go, oh, well, Black Lives Matter, but it's complicated. The movement, I get. The organization's complicated. It has Marxist elements to it. There's some bullshit kind of thrown in there, like dismantling, destroying the black family for whose gain, right? And there's things that the Black Lives Matter organization is pushing for that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't seem like it would actually help or improve the black community. You know, there's things that are kind of weird about it. But if you talk about that and offer some like nuance, then it gets weird and murky, and people don't know how to handle that, and it's quickly dismissed like, oh, you're probably just a racist or something, you know? When really it's like, let's talk about the complicated stuff. But no one does. That's a hard position anyway. It's so much easier to say, Black Lives Matter. Just leave me alone. Black Lives Matter. You know?
People, the job that I had worked really hard to get.
The job she worked really hard to get? Really hard to get? First off, what job did she lose? I'm not buying this. Most people who say this, they at least tell you the job. Because if it's lost, they'll just tell you. What job? What job? I'm not buying any of this right now. I'm really not buying this. Are you buying this? Are you buying this? I mean, hey, I go to the Kiwi Farms quite a bit, maybe too much. And from what I understand, she doesn't have a job. So I don't know. Like, what job did she lose?
It meant a lot to me. Just called me and fired me because of everything. I don't know if everyone's seen, but it's been circulating a lot. My Black Lives Matter TikToks were picked up by conservatives and spread and shared, and people were demanding that I be fired, which I just got. My job that I worked really hard for.
Like, what job? What is she talking about?
Even though they claim to stand against systematic bias, racism, and unequal treatment, so do the thousands of Trump supporters sending me hate messages, death threats, and violent messages. I'm still not going.
Well, once again, gotta say, it is a little ironic. It is very ironic that the jokes she said, and it kind of seemed like a bad joke, sure. I mean, I could probably say the same thing. Like, here, I talk a lot about horror and writing. If you don't like horror movies, I'm going to find you and I'm going to stab you. I'm going to stab you, you know? Like, clearly that's me just joking around, right? First off, I'm not going to waste the gas money, and nor do I really care, you know? That's just something I'll just say as a joke. Now, but even if it wasn't a joke, which, let's go with that, because people perceived it as a death threat, right? People perceived it as a death threat. At least some people did. It's funny that she cries about the death threats that she received when it's like, well, I mean, what did you say? She can't be that dumb. Maybe she is. But when she said what she said, whether it was a joke or not, it clearly was going to rile up certain people, right? It was definitely going to rile up a lot of people. And it did. It did. Well. Anyway, I'm curious about this job thing. I'm pretty sure that's fake. I'm thinking this thing is just played up theatrics. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Okay. You guys, ladies, take it easy. Have a good one.